What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Alright, we're coming back to Skillet. Yes, indeed. Skillet Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity-bob, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This is a request from Clem VP, and Clem wanted to see me react to this song. It is Skillet with a live performance of a song called Awake and Alive. Now, have I heard the song before? Yes, full disclosure, absolutely, yes, I have heard the song before. As a matter of fact, I've done a reaction to this song before. It's over here, somewhere on the channel. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but it's around here somewhere. So, here's the deal. I think this is one of those instances where I did a reaction to the song Awake and Alive, and it was a live version. I think this is one of those instances where Clem said, I watched the wrong version. I should have watched this version because this version is better. Okay, well, we'll see about that. So please keep in mind that I am not going to be reacting to the song itself in any way, shape, or form. I've heard the song before. I've done a reaction to it. So there's no way I could really do an honest reaction to the song. So please keep that in mind. I will only be reacting to, evaluating, and scoring the live performance. Stage presence, stage energy, stage interaction, crowd interaction, showmanship, production, and I will take into account how well they play the song in a live setting. I will do that. But I'm not taking the song itself, the songwriting, I'm not taking the arranging, I'm not taking that into account in any way, shape, or form. Please keep that in mind. This was posted by PL, okay, and the video has 32,841 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Skillet Vault Festival 2016 full show. Yeah, Clem did give me this link for the full show. He gave me a start time and a stop time, though. He told me to start at 29:39, which that's right where we're at. And he wanted me to stop at 35:52. So I got to remember 35:52. Hopefully, I won't let it go over. Well, I don't know. There will be severe repercussions if I go over. Anyway, let's get started with this. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Violin track.
I'm at war with the world and they try to pull me into the dark. I struggle to find my way as I'm slipping from your arms.
It's getting harder to stay awake. My strength is fading fast. To be everlasting.
I'm awake, I'm alive. Now I know what I believe inside. Now it's my time. I'll do what I want, 'cause this is my life. Here, right now.
Interesting intro, different approach, different take. A lot of track being used. A lot of track being used. The violin completely tracked. There is also a cello track that I hear, but the cello player is playing. Like when the cello player stopped, you could hear a cello track being played, but it sounded completely different. I mean, it was there, but it sounded completely different than what the cello player was producing as far as the tone goes. So I do believe the cello player was playing live, but there is a cello track being used as well. A lot of trackage, but that's okay. I mean, look, you got to do what you got to do to get the live sound that you want to get. And there's limitations, you know, as far as, you know, if you want your band to sound like it has 10 people in it, but your band only has 4 people, I mean, I'm sorry, but track is going to have to be used. It's inevitable. There's absolutely no way around it. So other than hiring musicians to come on stage. And like I said, I didn't see a violin player anywhere, but I heard violin, you know what I mean? So, I mean, a lot of people will look at track and say that's cheating.
I respectfully disagree.
I don't think it's cheating at all. Look, you're doing what you got to do to produce the sound you want to get in a live setting. We use track. We use track all the time. And we make no bones about it. We don't hide it either. We say straight up, yes, we use tracks. Absolutely we do. But we play live with those tracks. So what you're hearing in the bass is really me playing. What you're hearing in the backing vocals is really me singing. So, and I don't mind it when bands use track at all, as long as they're upfront and honest about it. What bothers me is when you have bands who use track and they pretend like they don't. And they flat out lie when they're asked, when they're put on the spot. And people will ask them, hey, do you use track? And they say, oh no, everything you hear is completely us. Meanwhile, you're hearing, 20 different instruments, and you only see 5 people on stage, and none of them are keyboard players. You see 2 guitars, a bass, vocalist, and drums, and yet you hear a full orchestra. Oh no, we don't use track. Really? How are you getting those orchestral sounds then, I hate it when bands lie about it. Look, if you're going to use track and be honest about it. Most people, honestly, they're not going to care. They're really not, as long as it sounds good. And I will give this to Skillet, absolutely. Their tracking has always sounded really good. So, gotta give them that. Let's keep going here.
Hungry! Are you awake? I'm at war with the world and they try to pull me into the dark. I struggle to find my way as I'm slipping.
It's getting harder to stay awake, and my strength is fading fast. You breathe into me.
I'm awake, I'm alive. Now I know what I'm feeling inside. Now it's my time. I'll do what I want, 'cause this is my life. Here, right now. I know what I'm feeling inside. I'm awake and I'm alive. I'm at war with the world.
Saw some good stage interaction there. It's a good performance. It's a good performance so far. Like I said, I'm seeing some good crowd interaction. I'm seeing some good stage interaction. Stage energy isn't as high as I'd like to see it. I've seen them be far more energetic. I have in the past. So I have a certain level of expectation when it comes to their stage energy and their stage presence. And if I'm being honest here, I haven't seen them live up to that expectation yet. Now, look, we still got time. We still got time to go here. So we still got like 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes to go. So that could change. But as it stands right now, stage presence, stage energy, it's not the best so far. Let's keep going. Let's see where this goes.
I ain't never gonna sell my soul. I've already made up my mind. No matter what, I can't be but a soul.
My faith is getting weak, and I feel like giving in. You breathe into me.
I'm awake, I'm alive. Now I know what I'm feeling inside. Now it's my time. I'll do what I want, 'cause this is my life. Here, right now. I know what I'm feeling inside. I'm awake and I'm alive. Waking up, sex. Waking up, sex. In the dark, I can feel you in the sleep. In your arms, I feel you breathing to me. Forever hold this heart that I will give to you. Forever I will live for you.
Who's doing the guitar solo? Oh, there we go.
Let me hear you.
I'm glad to see that Seth got off his box and came up to the front of the stage for the guitar solo. Thank God. It just kind of irks me when he stands back there on that ego block, on that it's not even an ego block. It's a flat out it's a flat out platform, and he just stands there like a tree. And I'm like, dude, I mean, do you have to stand there? Are you being told that you have to stand there? I mean, it's possible. It's very possible he is being told to just stand there. I mean, it could be. I hope that's not the case. I really do. I mean, I couldn't do it. And, unless the money was just exceptionally good. And I've done it before where I've worked for bands, and I mean, they're paying me scale, and that's fine. That's I got no problem with being paid scale, and then I'm being told, stand the back next to the drummer and don't move. And I'm like, excuse me? Did you not know who you were hiring when you hired me? And I'll tell them, listen, this is not the gig for me. I'm sorry. You need to find another bass player, and I'll leave. I'll give them the money back that they paid me, and I'll say, listen, you need to find another guy, someone who can stand still next to a drummer, because it's just not for me, man. Not in a live setting. I need to be moving around. Now, if they're going to pay me like quadruple scale and say, stand next to the drummer, okay, fine. You know, I got no issue with that. And look, at that point, they're paying me over $1,000 a day. So, I mean, if that's the case, look, if a band's going to pay me like $1,200 a day to $1,500 a day to stand next to a drummer during a live show, okay, sure, I'll do it. I'll bite the bullet and I'll do it. Won't be happy about it, but I'll do it. It's very possible he's being told to stand there and not move, but I don't think that's happening. So I wish he would move around more. He's got a good look. He's definitely got stage presence. If he could just, I mean, you just look at him, and he's a tall dude. He's gonna draw your eyes. I mean, he's going to. I kind of wish he would move around the stage more than he does. So that's just me. Anyway, let's keep going here. $35.52. I have to go for another 10 minutes. I mean, another minute. Why does he want me to
Thank you
stop
so much.
I mean, the song's over, but Clem was very clear. He wanted me to stop at 35:52. Song's over though. Maybe unless they come back into it, maybe they do that. Let's find out.
I love you. I love you. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome, man. Man, there's a lot of people up in here.
Well, it's the festival. It's to be expected.
How many people saw Skillet 2 years ago at Volt? I'm so happy to be back on the big stage this year. Thank you so much for coming out. We're gonna play a song that I wrote about playing video games all night long.
Woo! I'm all in favor of that.
Do we have any video game people out here?
Yep.
And
35:52. There it is. I'm a video game guy. I'm kind of curious to know what song he's talking about. Wrote a song about playing video games all night long. I wonder what song that is. I am curious. All right. I mean, there's not, to be honest with you folks, there's not really a whole lot to talk about. Considering the fact that I'm not taking the song into account in any way, shape, or form. There really is not a whole lot to talk about. So this is probably going to be a pretty short review. So don't get too comfortable. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you there, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Skillet with Awake and Alive. This was a request from Clem VP. Okay, before I give my score, I just need to reiterate this because I know that there are people who just, they don't pay attention to what I say in the intro at all. They either skip over it or they ignore it or whatever, and they just want to get right to the end to see what I give for a score. Please keep in mind, before I give my score, that I am not taking the song itself into account here in any way, shape, or form. I've already done a reaction to this song. It's over here somewhere on the channel. I don't know exactly where it is, but I'm sure you can find it if you search. So I've already done a reaction to it, so I can't honestly do an honest reaction to a song that I've done a reaction to. That just wouldn't make sense. So I am only basing my reaction, my evaluation, and my score on the live performance. I'm talking about stage energy. That's a big one, I promise you. It's going to explain a lot of why I came to this score. Stage energy, stage interaction, stage presence, crowd interaction, production, showmanship, and I will, of course, take into account how well they played the song. Okay, I do that, but not the song itself. Okay, please keep that in mind. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that live performance. I'm gonna give that live performance a 6.8. Yep, 6.8. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
I'm gonna start in a weird place. I'm gonna start with all the negatives first. I usually like to start with the positives first. But I think if I start with the negatives first, it'll make a lot more sense how I came to that score. I think a lot more people will be going, oh, I get it now. I see now. Rather than have me say all the good things and everybody go, wait a minute, well, why do you only give it a 6.8? Okay, first of all, before we go any further, let's talk about what a 6.8 actually is. Is a 6.8 a bad score? No, it's not. By definition, a 6.8 is a pretty good score. It's actually a very high, pretty good score. It's not bad. If this were a bad score, it would be down under 5, okay? And even then, the 4s really aren't that bad. I mean, the 4s are bad, but they're not terrible. They're not horrible. That's down the 1s and 2s, okay? Listen, a 6.8 is not bad by any stretch. If you don't believe me, that's okay. Take a look down below in the video description. You're going to very clearly see that 6.0 to 6.9 is the grading scale for what? What does it say? It says pretty good. This is getting a 6.8. It's way up there on the pretty good scale. Now, how did I come to this score? How did I come to a 6.8? I could sum this all up in one thing. Now, keep in mind, I'm not taking the song into account at all, okay? It's only based on my 6 criteria for live performances. And the first one I usually say is stage presence and stage energy. Here we go. All right, stage energy. Was there really any? Not a lot of it. There were moments. There were fleeting moments. There were spaces and parts where the energy did come through, but they were few and far between. For the most part, everybody just kind of stood there. Okay, this is going to sum it up for you right here. This is going to be my opening and closing arguments. The most active person on that stage, the person who was moving around the most, the person who was interacting the most, the person that was putting out the most effort and the most work from a stage presence and stage energy, and even from a stage interaction crown point, was who? The cello player. Ladies and gentlemen, the defense rests. I mean, look, you're talking about a guy who's not even a part of the band. He's a hired gun coming out there and performing as a live hired musician, and he's got more stage energy than the band members themselves. I mean, I don't know, man. Especially, and I know this is going to sound instrumentalist. For those of you that don't know, that's like a racist term for people who have anything against instrumental players. But this is going to sound instrumentalist, and I understand it's going to sound instrumentalist, but here's the simple fact of the matter. Cello players aren't usually seen as being active. They're not usually seen as being, stage presence guys or stage energy guys. Now, I work with a cello player. His name is Rick, and he is a phenomenal cello player, one of the best cello players in the world. He is always performing with orchestras all over the world, including the LA Phil, the London Philharmonic, the Sydney Philharmonic. He's playing with these legendary, orchestras all the time. He's getting phone calls to go and play with these guys. So he's a phenomenal cello player, but this guy can rock. I mean, this guy has stage presence. This guy has stage energy. You put him into a rock setting and this guy rocks out. He is a rock star, believe it or not. So I'm not surprised to see a cello player rocking out. What I am surprised by is to see the cello player out moving, out energizing, out rocking, and out entertaining everybody else in the band. That is a bit of a glaring issue. Now, having said that, there was interaction. Now, you can't have interaction without two people. So, I mean, you had the cello player interacting with John, and John would interact with the cello player. But that's all we saw. We saw the cello player go back and interact with Seth, and Seth did interact with the cello player. But that's all we saw, is when it was initiated by the cello player. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I have seen Skillet be far more energetic, far better stage presence, far better stage energy in other performances than I have in this one. That's really my big gripe, if I'm being honest with you. Now remember, I'm not grading the song here. I've already done that. I'm basing my score completely on the live performance. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big issue. And it brought the score down a lot, okay? That's how it goes, folks. Now, let's talk about the good things, okay? Let's talk about the good stuff. The track usage. It was there, but it wasn't forward. It wasn't like everything else was being buried by track. The track did exactly what it was supposed to do. Fill out the sound. Fill in the gaps. That's all it's supposed to do, and that's all it did. And they made no bones about it, and they didn't sit there and try to pretend. They didn't have a violin player, but they had the violin in the track. Great. Cool. Better than having some guy up there pretending to play a violin with no strings on it. while you hear violin being played. That would suck, okay? I would absolutely call BS on that. And the score would go down significantly as a result. No, they used track appropriately, and I got no issue with it. They did play the song well, from what I remember. It didn't sound bad. It didn't sound out. It sounded exactly like it was supposed to sound, from what I remember. Nothing sounded out. Nothing sounded out of key. Nothing made me go, that didn't sound good. No, it sounded fine to me, so I can only assume that they played the song well. I really wish Seth would get off that platform more often. I just feel like he stands back there way too much. And that's not just for this song. That's in a lot of live performances I've seen from Skillet on the channel. That's been one of my biggest gripes is he just, I feel like at times I want to call him Seth the Tree, because he just stands there with his feet rooted into the ground. And I'm just like, dude, with your look, with your stature, with your height, you automatically have people looking at you. You would steal the show if you would move around, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because that would force John to up his game and, steal the spotlight back. So I really wish Seth would do that, man. Like I said, there may be something in his contract. There may be some stipulation that he's being told not to do that. If that's the case, shame on Skillet. Shame on Skillet, and shame on Skillet's record label for telling him to stand back there. They have a golden goose who they're telling people, and then they're telling him not to lay any eggs. That is ridiculous. So, but he does play well, and when he did do his guitar solo, he did come up to the front of the stage, so that was good. I'll take it. I'll take every little piece I can get. I did see Corey get off of her platform and come up to the stage and rock out. That was good to see. Again, I'd like to see more of it, because I know she can put on a show. I've seen her do it. I wish she would do it more often. That intro with Jen and John singing together in that, not a cappella, I mean, there was obviously instrumentation, but in that laid back style, that relaxed style, that was interesting to hear. It was a good intro. I wonder what would have happened. This is going to sound weird coming from me, but I wonder what would have happened if they had done the entire song like that. I wonder what would have happened. I don't know how that would have gone with me. It might have gone better. It might have gone worse. I don't know, but I kind of wish they had. I wonder what it would have done for me. I don't know. I have no idea. The only way I'll know is if I ever get a chance to see that happen. Jen's vocals and Jen's drumming sounded really nice. And for those of you wondering, I believe wholeheartedly that she was singing live. And the reason I'm saying that is her mouth placement on that mic reflected what we were hearing. There were a couple of times her mouth wasn't right on the mic, and it was a little bit away, and you heard it. You heard it in the vocals. You heard that slight volume drop. And then when she would turn her head to the mic, and you would hear it come up again. So I believe wholeheartedly that what we heard from her vocals were live, and I'm so glad to see that. I am so thankful for that. John's vocals were obviously live. Obviously, I didn't hear any post-production, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't hear any post-production at all in this live performance. I didn't hear anything that sounded like it was being edited in post. So, I mean, what we heard was raw live sound, and I love that. I will take that over post-produced sound any day of the week when it comes to live performances. I would much rather hear a raw live sound. Look, it's a pretty good job, okay? I can't go into the really good. I can't, man. The lack of stage energy is glaring in this, and the lack of stage presence is also glaring in this. But we did see a little bit of interaction thanks to the cello player. We did see some crowd interaction thanks to John and thanks to Jen. We did see a little bit there. That was good to see. Showmanship, kinda. I mean, it was there. Just, I wish I could have seen more. Production, really kind of a non-factor, if I'm being honest. They didn't really have any, so, and they were playing outdoors in the daylight, so it was kind of pointless to have any. But overall, it's getting a pretty good score, a very high, pretty good score of 6.8. So I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So 6.8, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.